Today, we speak to the author of the book, Leadership Perspectives for Mid-Level Managers. Please welcome Dr. George Kalu.
We're joined by Dr. George Kalu, a seasoned Silicon Valley technology leader with decades of experience guiding product development and operation teams to drive meaningful business growth. In his book, Leadership Perspectives for Mid-Level Managers, he challenges the notion that leadership belongs only to executives, offering practical, real-world insights that empower mid-level managers to lead with innovation, authenticity, and purpose in today's ever-evolving business landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kalu. Hello there, Dr. Kalu.
Hello, Maria. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and thank you so much for joining us. Some few questions for you, if you don't mind me.
Sure.
All
Sure.
right. Briefly, for those who do not know you yet, can you please introduce yourself and your professional background?
Sure. Thank you, Maria, for inviting me. I'm excited to be here today.
Oh, we're glad
Anyway,
you have you.
thank you. I'm glad to be here. To start with, I am Dr. Ukpai George Kalu. I am a leadership professional with more than 3 decades of applied leadership experience at various Silicon Valley companies. Most of my work has been in business operations and product development, which focused on values-based and people-centered leadership that achieved both business growth and team member success. My hands-on experience combined with a deep commitment to the work concentrated on helping and mentoring others to help attain business success. I started my career as an engineer and later progressed into middle management, where I led a team of individuals with different backgrounds, sizes, and various skill levels. So that's my background right there.
Very impressive, Dr. Kalu. But I want to ask in your own words, because this is where your book lies, everything that you're talking right now. What does leadership mean to you? And if you can define it in your own words.
Oh, sure, definitely. When individuals use the term leader in the institutional context, they commonly mistake it to mean those in executive positions. This is not necessarily true because what they miss is anyone in the organization, regardless of position, can be a leader, and the people in middle management are also leaders because they direct most of the leadership activities. So that's my simple definition of a leader. To go into leadership can be described as the ability to inspire and influence others to achieve a common goal, relying on motivation, communication, and guidance, rather than just dispensing instructions, directives, and others. In its basic form, leadership is simply a process and a practice of positive influence exercised by a person in some position of authority over others. Regardless of how leadership is conceptualized, from the simplest to the comprehensive, 4 specific conditions must exist in tandem for leadership to occur. And these 4 conditions are: first, leadership being a process; 2, leadership must be present in a group setting; 3, the leader has to have influence over the followers; and finally, number 4, there must be a goal to be attained. In any setting, leadership is indispensable, unavoidable, and a complex process that cannot easily be attained in a word or concept. By its nature, it is an everyday activity and a force for good that is in widespread use within the industry, government, non-profit organizations, and homes, and the community. So one important takeaway from this discussion is leadership is a job, not a position, because people do mix up the two. In other words, it is what you do as an individual leader and not what you are. So once again, leadership is a job and not a position.
That's very interesting. Leadership is a job and not a position. But in your
That's correct.
book, yes, why did you focus on mid-level managers?
In a nutshell, the book is intended for mid-level managers. That
Mm-hmm.
is, that is those at the center of the action. If you've been a mid-level manager, you see that you are just in the center of everything. You're always running around trying to get things done. In particular, the book is recommended for leadership professionals, managers, upper level management, and specifically anyone responsible for leading one or more people at any level in the organization. It's also meant for those who want to elevate their leadership skills into future leaders. Um, Mid-level managers are the layer of managers between the senior executives and their subordinates. They are responsible for carrying out the decisions made by upper level management and ensuring their directives, visions, and strategies are executed. Their role involves managing the performance of subordinates and also responsible for their training and development. Mid-level managers are intentionally positioned in the middle of the organizational hierarchy, where they take on most of the critical responsibilities of those above, which are the senior leadership. At the same time, they direct the activities of those below, the subordinates. In many cases, they lead across the organization, including colleagues, in an effort to achieve the business goals. They are expected to effectively drive and influence the team to successfully achieve business goals. They function as connectors between different leadership relationships, and their roles involve maximized responsibilities but with limited authority. So they can do a lot of things, but they don't have as much authority as their role
Mm-hmm.
requires.
Thank you so much for that. That's
Welcome.
a good enlightenment for me. But Dr. Kalu, do you have real life example or case study when you were doing the book?
Yes, I did, and I do. Um, well, in researching this book, I was drawn to create a case study of
Mm-hmm.
the leadership styles of two extraordinarily effective Silicon Valley leaders, two household names. These two people are Bill Gates, a co-founder of Microsoft,
Wow.
and Steve Jobs, co-founder of
Mm-hmm.
Apple. If you notice, again, they are household names. Everybody knows about.
Yes.
Once you mention the name, everybody knows who they are.
Yes.
The, this case study, as I was doing it, provided practical illustration of their leadership styles, both individually, that established why both men are regarded as effective technology leaders. Let's talk about the type of leadership styles available in the
Yes,
industry.
please. Yes.
They include autocratic leadership.
Mm-hmm.
There is bureaucratic. Some of those you can find mostly in non-profit and government organizations. That's where you have most of the bureaucratic type
Yes.
of administration. There is also charismatic leaders. There are participative leaders and transactional leaders. There are many others. But Gates and Jobs are pioneers of the microcomputer revolution.
Mm-hmm.
They are decisively two of the world's most successful entrepreneurs within the technology industry, with
Mm-hmm.
exceptional leadership skills that have transformed their companies into global technology companies. In the tech world, both men have left enduring legacies and offer unique but different leadership skills or styles. While there are significant differences in their leadership style, Gates and Jobs had a lot of similarities in their drive to achieve business and professional excellence. To those who are familiar with these two guys, they are two hard-charging individuals in their quest for technical inventiveness.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, at their similarities, they are both predisposed to autocracy. They demand strong work ethic and passion for the job from their employees.
Mhm.
They uncompromisingly drove for excellence and achieved the desired results. According to those who worked for them or who work with them, they are also difficult to work with.
I heard that.
Okay, the simplest differences they have is Gates started off as autocratic. He wanted his way. He has to be his way or no way
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Or no way.
But yeah, but as he matured, he
Mm-hmm.
shifted to accepting input from others, resulting in participative leadership style. On the other hand, Jobs, also autocratic, somebody, again, if you know anything about him, he's also very autocratic. He
Mm-hmm.
was reluctant at first to delegate assignments, but led by inspiration and practical style.
Mm-hmm.
So, in summary, they were autocratic, but at the end, towards the end of their career, Bill Gates was participative, and Jobs found a way to start working better with people. But that autocracy in him was maintained. So those are the two individuals I did some research on and found their leadership. I found them in my research based on their leadership styles.
Wow, that's great. Now,
Okay.
what motivated you? What really pushed you to write this book, The Leadership Perspectives for Mid-Level Managers? What did something happen? Did you have an experience and or you just want to put out something out there for mid-level managers?
My inspiration and goals were to write a book that serves as a tool for making businesses more successful
Mm-hmm.
and advancing employees' career prospects. Those employees include mid-level managers. So having successfully contributed in the workforce for a long time as a leader, I knew I had unique insights and the capacity to share my knowledge to motivate and influence future leaders. Number two, one of my other inspirations or motivations was I was also inspired to assemble my professional experience and knowledge into a book that creates a kind of self-help training and reference manual. The other reason was with first-hand experience, I observed how some leaders directed their organizations. Some were great, respectable, some not so great. That's when I decided to put my knowledge on paper. Therefore, I published a book to share my professional experience with mid-level managers who want to enhance their leadership skills, as well as position themselves for higher leadership roles that support moving the organization to greatness. Also, given their critical role in organizations, books that address the needs of mid-level managers were not readily available. And having been a mid-level manager myself, I figured the book would be a great resource for managers, and I certainly would have found the book very useful as a great resource.
Yes, I can see that. And this is a good push forward for those mid-level managers who are perhaps doubting themselves if they can do it, even if
Correct.
they're not in the top tier of the management thing. And
Yes.
this is an inspiration that they could be
Mm-hmm.
someone who could be up there and leading the pack, not not thinking that,
Of course.
I'm just on the mid-level thing and I can't do this.
Manager, yeah.
I can't manage, I can't lead. Well, thank you for this book. But as a
Sure.
mid-level manager yourself,
Mm-hmm.
well, you experienced that, right? What were the
Yes.
what were the some of the common leadership mistake you see in mid-level managers and the things that they make that make it really less of of how they see themselves getting up there and how can they avoid it? Like
Mm.
the mistakes that usually is being seen here.
Okay. The key mistakes, based on my experience, I noticed were they are simple things that people tend to overlook. First of all, they do not they don't act inclusively. They are unwilling to include and leverage the knowledge of the experts, either within their team, or within their subordinates, or everybody else. That's one mistake that they do make. They fail to understand that the employees actually are the one who get the work done, not the managers. Without them, nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
Employees want to be heard and feel the leader cares about them. They also they do not generally set clear directions and making the goals and objectives visible.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always make themselves accessible or approachable. They are not always open, clear, and dynamic in their communication. Two-way process is very, very important, but sometimes they forget to do all that. Once they assign tasks to the subordinates, they are not always given the freedom to do the work. So some of the things they need to do to improve the skills of the subordinates, they have to be great. They have to be great leaders. You have to give more of yourself as a leader. You have to be positive. You need to treat everyone with kindness and be respectful of others, including their positions, including their opinions. You have to be a good servant leader. You have to lead by example. You have to exhibit the characteristics of a leader at all times. It's not a thing that you can do today and you don't do tomorrow. So you have to be a lead by example every time. You have to be a person of influence, and you have to influence yourself first before you can influence others.
Right. Dr. Kalu, such a great talk that we had today. And
Thank you.
Your book is very interesting. So where can our listeners find your book? Where is it available?
Well, yeah, the book is, you can find it Amazon in paperback or e-copy, which is Kindle. You can also find the book on my website, which is ukalubooks.com. ukalubooks.com. Let me spell it out. Spell it out to you.
Please.
It's U as in United, K as in Kenneth, A as in Apple, L as in Larry, U as in United, book, B as in book, O as in Orlando, O as in Orlando, K as in Kenneth, S as in Sam.com. ukalu.com. UKALU books.com.
I won't forget that. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Dr. George Kalu, thank you so much for gracing our author's interview today and our podcast. And I hope to hear from you soon. And definitely, I'm gonna check out your book. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much. This has been Maria, and we just had Dr. George Kalu for Leadership Perspectives for Mid-Level Managers. Thank you, and see you around soon.